everyone. Welcome to the session on Strategic Human Resource Management. In this session, I am going to provide you the overall view of the subject Strategic Human Resource Management. Before diving into the subject, I wish to provide you some exam tips. For any exam, paper presentation is very important. So, while presenting your paper, please use clear headings and give your answers concise, right? Concise answers, and use bulletin points. Use diagrams and flow charts to represent your side headings. Give side headings and highlight the key terms in your answer sheet. When you write the definitions and key terms, highlight it and give more example. For strategic human resource management subject, you can give your own examples. Okay. Now, before explaining the subject, just remember in your UG, already you learned the subject human resource management. Human resource management, this subject is the foundation for the strategic human resource management subject. The strategic human resource management, it is the approach, strategic approach to the human resource management. So already you know the subject very well. That is the foundation for your SHRM subject. Okay. And the subject you can understand very easily because the subject is connected to the real business world applications and experiences. Throughout our discussions, we are going to discuss with examples. Now, let me explain the meaning of strategic human resource management in a simple way. What is strategic human resource management? SHRM is planning for managing people in a smart and long-term way. Every organization, they need to employ right people with right skills at the right time. And every business organizations, their work is not only employing people. Above, they need to provide training to their members, their employees. They need to develop their employees by providing training opportunities. They need to motivate their employees with the proper rewards. And the retention of employees is very important for the successful of any organization. So, the goal of SHRM is growing the company and employees together. This is the goal of HRM. When employees are valued and supported, they feel better and the performance also will become better. Next, we have two approaches to HRM. One is traditional HRM and another one is strategic HRM. Both these are different approaches. How it differs? Traditional HRM, it is a reactive approach. Traditional HRM, the HR managers focus only on hiring the employees and they think it is not their duty to giving directions to the employees while doing their job. And their assumption is the employees will learn the job while doing their job. Okay. It is the approach of HR managers in traditional HRM. Next, what is the strategic HRM? What is this approach? It is a broader approach. Strategic HRM is broader approach. Okay. So in this approach, the HR manager not only concentrate in hiring employees. While hiring employees, they focus on the long-term goals of the organization also. After recruiting people for the organization, the HR manager also concentrate on developing the employees. They provide training to the employees. They create handbooks to the employees, and retention of employees, rewarding employees, motivation of employees, everything is included in strategic HRM with strategic approach. Okay. So strategic means creating competitive advantage. How the strategic HRM concept is differ from traditional HRM? It is creating competitive advantage. What is competitive advantage? The organization should be different from other competitor organizations. That is creating competitive advantage. While discussing the subject, I will give you one example so that you can understand what is competitive advantage. Okay. So in traditional HRM, the focus is only on employee relations. Okay. The HR manager concentrates on solving problems and managing the relationship only. And in SHRM, partnership with the internal and external customers also focused very much. What is the role of HR? Transactional role they are playing, HR managers. And in SHRM, they played a role of transformational role, changing role. Okay. And according to time, traditional HRM focuses on short-term goals and strategic HRM focuses on long-term goals. Okay. Next. What are the barriers to strategic HRM? The meaning of barriers is challenges or problems. What is the problem for the companies while implementing the SHRM in the organization? That we are going to discuss now. The organizational culture is one of the important barriers while implementing the SHRM in the organization. So what is the organizational culture means? It is the values, beliefs and what they are following. That is called organizational culture. And if the line managers are not supportive, then there is no possibility to implement SHRM in the organization effectively. Leadership support. If the leaders do not support the SHRM policies, plans, then it is impossible to implement the SHRM. Then inadequate resources. If there is lack of money and resources, it is a barrier to implement SHRM in the organization. Resistance to change. So this is changing word. If the people are not able to adapt to the change and it is difficult to implement SHRM. And only if the HR focus on the short-term focus, if there is lacking long-term focus, it is not possible to implement SHRM in the organization. Now we are going to discuss the roles in SHRM. So there are two roles in SHRM, top management role and the line manager role. Top manager role is very, very important in SHRM. So because they are the one who create visionary leadership, they only define their values and purposes and they provide directions. Okay, this is the work of the top management. So they provide strategies. The top management provides strategies. And with their direction, the employees work. So what is the role of frontline management? So it is the one who proposes, the top management proposes the plans and they design the policies, and It is in the hands of frontline managers who implement the policies. They used to implement the policies. Okay. I will give you one example. If while building the construction work, so designing is related to pertaining to a top level management. Okay, and it is the masons who are building the construction. Okay, so planning is by the top level management and the implementation by the line managers. What are the models of SHRM? There are three models of SHRM: high performance management, high commitment management, high involvement management. Okay, so when you hear these three models, it sounds same, it sounds similar, but all these three are different. In the high performance model, the concentration, the HR focuses fully on improving performance of the employees, that is the productivity of the employees. To improve the performance of the employees, while selecting the staff, they plan well. They use strategic approach while selecting the staff. And after selecting the staff, extensive training is provided to the employees to improve their performance. And they also involve the employees in decision making. So in this way, they try to improve the performance of the employees. The next model is high commitment model. High commitment model, and it relates to creating emotional connection among the employees. The employees must emotionally attached to the organization, then only good results they will produce. Okay, so to improve the commitment of the employees, what are the ways? Employee engagement methods HR managers they follow. Okay, and they try to build a long-term relationship between the organization and between the employees, and the leadership style is fair and supportive. The next model is high involvement model. The employees, what is involvement means? Making the employees to involve in the decision making of the organization. Okay, so while they involve in the decision making, they feel better, they feel valued, and they perform well, and they stay longer in the organization. Okay. Next, what are the environmental trends and HR challenges? Okay. What is environment? The surroundings in which we are live. It is called environment, and there are changes in the environment, and it affects the organization also. This is a greater challenge to the HR managers. Okay. First one, technological advancement. It means nowadays everything is about AI and digital skills. So the HR must take necessary steps to improve the employee skill in that particular area. Okay, then only the challenge will be they face employees. The next one, globalization. Nowadays everything is globalized, that is the businesses we are doing business at global level. Okay, and we need to accept this globalization. And demographic shift. Demography means the age, gender, everything related to demographic, and while working in the organization, the employees they belongs to different geographical areas, their age will differ, and according to this demographic, the HR needs to plan and implement all the policies. And the economic factors also one of the greatest challenge. Social and political factors, that is there is change in law and everything. And according to this environment changes, the HR need to plan the organizational work. Next one, strategic human resource planning. What do you mean by strategic human resource planning? It is the process of aligning organization human resources with the overall strategic goals. Okay. So it involves forecasting future workforce needs, analyzing the current workforce and developing strategies to ensure that the right people with the right skills are employed in the right time, in the right place. Okay, that is called human resource planning. And I will explain you what is human resource planning with example. First one, workforce forecasting. For example, a hospital knows in future there are possibilities for more patients to come to the hospital. What they need to do? They need to plan for the recruitment of nurses for their hospitals. Okay. For that, they arrange campus interviews. They enter into agreement with nursing schools for the recruiting nurses. Okay, this is workforce forecasting. Next one, succession planning. What is succession planning? You know very well in advance who are going to retire from the organization. For example, Infosys, they know that a senior manager will retire after 3 years. What they need to plan is they have to give training to the existing employees for that post. Okay, in this way they need to plan. So next one, skill development for future needs. What is the skill development? IT company, though they know very well the future is all about artificial intelligence. Okay, so for example, TCS continuously they are providing training sessions to their employees to face this challenge. Managing seasonal demand. What is this managing seasonal demand means? During the festival times in a business organization, surely there will be higher sales. To meet the sales, they have to recruit more salesmen. Okay, and in advance they have to plan for that. For example, Big Bazaar, Amazon, seasonal workers. They are called seasonal workers. Okay. Then, what are the 3 benefits of strategic HR planning? Better business impact, increased employee engagement, more efficient and accountable managers. And these are the 3 benefits of the strategic HR planning. I will give you examples. Okay. So, what is business impact? In IT company, if they train employees for artificial intelligence in advance, before the competitors doing that, it becomes advantage for the company. The next one, increased employee engagement and retention. For example, Infosys gives regular training and career development programs, and the employees feel valued and they engage in the work well, and the company also able to retain their employees. More efficient and accountable managers. Okay, so HR planning gives managers clear structure and responsibilities. Okay, so because of this efficiency is possible. And next, what is strategic recruitment and selection? Recruitment and selection means acting, proactive. Okay, so already we discussed strategic human resource management is proactive approach. Okay, so there are the approaches aligning the hiring practices with organizational overall business strategy. Next, we have one example also for strategic recruitment and selection. The next topic is strategic human resource development. Once the employee join the organization, they need training. This is called developing. Okay, so the employees need a development. Strategic human resource development, it is a systematic approach to developing employee skills and competencies after joining the organization. And strategic means aligning everything with the organizational goals. That is the concept. So hereafter whatever we discuss, it is aligning the goals with overall organizational goals. Okay. The next one, strategic human resource development. This is example for strategic human resource development. Amazon wants to expand the cloud computing business. Okay, it is the strategic goal to become the global leader. And what is a reward strategy? Reward strategy means motivating and encouraging employees with rewards for their performance. Okay, that is called a reward strategy. And example about Google, we have example of Google. Apart from salary, Google provides their employees with bonuses, free meal, wellness program, etc. Okay, so today we have discussed the basic concept in strategic human resource management, and I hope you understand well the concept of SHRM, and thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.